Let us begin. You're going to come to a comfortable seat, whatever that is. Perhaps you need to rock around on your sits bones, find a little movement here on the bottom of your body. Perhaps you need to take a few deep breaths or hang out with an animal that you have or move a few things on your mat. Once you feel a bit more settled, you're going to bring your hands to your heart. Perhaps close your eyes here. Take a big, deep belly breath. And exhale, completely letting it go. One more breath here as you set a prayer or an intention for your practice. And then as you're ready, blink your eyes open. You're going to bring the palms down to your knees. And then begin to find a little rotation forward and back. So you'll move to the front of the mat. And then you'll begin to switch direction. And come back in towards neutral here. This time, place your palms on your knees, and as you inhale, slide the shoulders back, lift the head and the heart high. And exhale, fold and round here. Bringing more energy, more light, more love and kindness and compassion into your physical body so that you can begin to share that with others. As you inhale, you're going to come all the way back up to a neutral spine. So draw the belly in, making sure the shoulders are over your hips. And then as you exhale, you're going to roll all the way forward into your tabletop position. Now in tabletop, your shoulders will be directly over your wrists and your hips will be directly over your knees. We're going to find that similar motion here, dropping the belly, lifting the head and the heart. Inhale. And as you exhale, fold and round here. Inhale, lifting the head and the heart. And exhale, fold. You're going to come back towards neutral, draw the navel into the spine, and then begin to tuck your left toes back behind you. You're going to push through the palms and start to draw the heel a little bit away from the body here. And so I'm scooching up just a bit so you can see, but I'm drawing my heel a little further back to start to find even more intention here through the calf muscles. Inhale, lift, lengthen the toes. Maybe you rotate your ankle. And then slowly begin to draw the toes in between your fingertips. Walk palms onto your thigh or your knee first and check in with the back leg. So you might want to scooch the front foot forward. You might even tuck the back toes and draw the back knee a little further behind you in order to find more length here. Now reach both arms up towards the sky. I'm still working with my own injury, so maybe both arms can come up. Maybe you're doing what feels good in your body. One more here. Inhale, lift. And as you exhale, you're going to fold forward. As you do, the toes look to the sky, straighten that front leg. We're going to go a little faster in the next few breaths. Inhale, rise, reach both arms up, and exhale, fold, come all the way back. So as we're shifting and moving here, I want to tell you a little tiny bit about what I am going to be preaching this weekend, because I promise you that it ties into what we're doing today. So today, or this weekend, we are shifting into and talking about hospitality. As you exhale, fold forward. Again, the toes are looking up toward the sky, feeling that length here from your calf all the way up through your hamstring. And exhale, fold. So what does hospitality have to do with hamstrings? Everything and nothing. So the hospitality aspects, or the things that I think of when I think of hospitality, are the things that ground us and connect us to others. As you exhale, the next time you're going to bend into the front knee and then start to walk your toes over towards the outer edge of the mat. You're going to bring both palms down and then take your left hand to left knee, deep breath in, and as you exhale, push it away from the body here, keeping that heart open, finding a nice twist. So while we're working here through the hamstrings tap into what we call Muladhara energy, the root energy. And hospitality is everything that we need in our lives. It includes everything in our lives that is grounded and connected to others. Things like food and shelter and warmth and joy. As you exhale, you're going to bring those palms down to the earth, slide knee into shoulder, and step back, tabletop position. You're going to start to find and move and roll a little bit here through the hips. Now, when I think of hospitality, for myself personally, I often think of things like offering a meal to someone, giving them a place to stay, welcoming the stranger if there is something that they need in their own lives. After you're done wiggling it out just a little bit, you'll come back into your actual tabletop, and this time tuck your right toes back behind you. Again, pushing through those palms and starting to draw the heel just a little bit further away from you, coming forward and back. So hamstrings and hospitality are connected because they both are parts of what it means to be connected, to be grounded. And this connection is what I'm talking about this weekend. So this weekend I'm preaching on Matthew 10, 40 through 42. And essentially what that says is that if someone welcomes you, they're also therefore welcoming God, welcoming Jesus. You're going to lift the toes, wiggle your foot out here. And then as you exhale, you're going to slide the foot all the way forward. And again, you might find that adjustment here, shifting until it feels right to rise all the way here. And so the way that we welcome others reflects so much of our own hospitality. And no matter who you are, how you practice your life, how you practice your thoughts around divinity or inclusivity or any big giant words that we focus on in yoga and in life, no matter where you are, those lessons of hospitality and love can be found everywhere. As you exhale, drop the palms. And then draw the toes again all the way up to the sky, the toes shining back towards the knee. And so in the things that I've been thinking about this week, I've been thinking a lot about what does hospitality mean? What does it mean to welcome a stranger? What does it mean to welcome someone that is not like you? What does it mean to welcome people who are? And all of those things wrapped together just keep reminding me of what I was speaking about a couple of weeks ago, this idea of continuing to break bread together. As you inhale, you're going to find a little more movement. Inhale, rise, both arms lift, and exhale back. So what do I mean by that? Well, what I mean by that is that we don't often spend enough time with the people that we love because we're too busy doing other things, doing life. And so for me, I've been thinking a lot lately about what does it mean to slow down the busyness and to enjoy the people, the connections. And does that create more capacity to invite others into it? As you exhale, bring those palms all the way down. And start to walk the toes again all the way over. You're going to take your right hand to right knee, deep breath in, and as you exhale, push the thigh away from the body, opening here into your hips and your hamstrings. Now the hips dive into relationships. So the reason that I think that hips, or rather hamstrings and hospitality are so connected is because it is the things that ground us. But hospitality also taps into relationships, it taps into connection, it taps into community. And so, are you plugged in to your community? Are you plugged into places where you can give and where you can receive? As you exhale, plant those palms, slide the knee, and then come all the way back, tabletop position. Again, wiggle it out here, finding that last tiny little release. And then spread through the fingertips, tuck all 10 toes, and begin to lift the hips up towards the sky. You're gonna bend one knee and then the other. Finding a little bit here of a walked dog. And then find stillness as your gaze looks forward. Bend those knees, step or float to meet your fingertips. Root to rise, reach all the way up, inhale. And exhale, slide forward with love. Halfway rise, receiving love, receiving your inhale. And exhale, plant your palms, step back, high plank, drop the knees, elbows hug the rib cage as you lower all the way to the mat. Push through your palms, inhale, rise, cobra pose. And as you exhale, child's pose. Now, another thing that I think about when I personally think about hospitality is this idea of radical inclusivity, of radical love, of welcoming in the person that you would have never expected to welcome. And in those moments when that feels incredibly tricky and sticky and scary and difficult, remember that all of us have a different perspective. And that we may actually be saying the same thing from a slightly different viewpoint. You're going to bring those palms all the way out in front of you. Rise up, tabletop. Exhale, downward facing dog. You're going to reach your left toes up to the sky. Go ahead and bend the knee, peel the hip open, rotate your ankle, maybe your hip. And then slide your foot in between your thumbs. Rise high, crescent lunge. Deep breath in. And as you exhale, plant your palms. Drop the back knee all the way down. Untuck your back toes. This time, reach both arms to the sky. You're going to take your left arm to your hip. You're going to take the thumb and just kind of hook it in and come up and across. So you're stretching here through your side waist. One more deep round of breath here. Inhale, stay for the exhale. Inhale, rise, both arms reach. Plant your palms. You're going to step back into your extended table, your low plank, and lower to the mat. Push through your palms, inhale, rise, cobra. And as you exhale, slide into, again, your downward facing dog, your Adho Mukha Svanasana. You're going to reach your right foot to the sky. Bend the knee, peel the hip open. Maybe you rotate your ankle or your foot. And then slowly rise. And as you exhale, slide your foot in between your thumbs. Reach all the way up. Inhale, lift. Breathe. And as you exhale, slide those palms back down to meet the earth. Knee drops down, untuck your toes. Again, fully adjust first here. Reach both arms up. And then as you exhale, you're going to take your right thumb, hook it in, and come up and across here. Finding, again, that space through the intercostals, through the ribcage. Breathing here. One more. Stay for the exhale. And then slowly unwind. Step it back. Tabletop, low plank. Lower all the way down to meet the earth. Push through those palms. Inhale, rise, cobra pose. Exhale, child's pose, sitting the hips back towards your heels. Allowing yourself to rest. Allowing yourself a moment of pause. A moment to collect your own thoughts. To decide the values, the hospitality, the love, the grounding, the nurturing that you need today. Decide if it is a day for giving or receiving. Know that those balances can come whenever, but there are days when it is okay to receive and days when it is better to give. And know always that you deserve rest, love, nurturing, and hospitality just the same way that everyone around you does. Slowly rise. Come all the way up from your child's pose into your tabletop. And then gently begin to find a seat. Cross your ankles. You're going to bring those palms down to your knees, and at first reach the arms up. And exhale, lean forward. So all you're doing at first is stretching here through the hips. Dropping your head between your shoulders. Grounding down into yourself helps you connect to what matters the most to you today. Knowing that deep down, generally, our values don't change, but on the surface, there are a few that may shift from day to day on what we need most. Take another breath here, lengthening the head, dropping the head heavy. And then slowly rise. I'm going to bring the palms to the knees. Keep the chin tucked. As you exhale, you'll draw left ear to left shoulder. And then draw to center. Right ear to right shoulder. Chin to chest. And find one neck roll in one direction. And one in the other. And then bring your gaze to neutral. You're going to take those legs, bring the opposite foot in front, bring both arms up. And as you exhale, lengthen all the way forward. Now, by the way, if this doesn't feel excellent, that's perfectly normal. For some, it feels good. For some, it feels a little achy. So come to wherever feels good. If your knees hurt, here, back off a little bit. If it's too intense on the hips or the ankles, you can add a blanket. Really listening into the comfort of your body. You're going to take a few more breaths here, relaxing and resting the head as much as possible. And on your next breath, you will very gently rise. Very, 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 very gracefully come to a seat with both hands on your heart. Knowing that in this moment, you can choose to pause the video to set a 2 to 3 minute timer or a favorite song for your Shavasana. Or you can choose to allow this to be the end of your practice. Bringing your hands to your heart center. With your hands to your heart, may you embody love. Your hands to your lips, may you speak truth. With your hands to your third eye, may you perceive kindness, wonder, love, curiosity, and magic. May the breath be your blessing. I'm going to leave you all with a very short prayer that I have written. It is a poem prayer that I wrote a number of years ago when I was thinking about, and by a number of years ago, I mean last year. But when I was thinking about all of the things that have been happening in our world, and in particular the last 2 years or so, have been really tricky. And so I've been thinking about ways that we can be more hospitable, ways that we can invite others in, and that is where this prayer came from. It's called A Prayer for the Ordinary Ways in Which We Care for One Another. Divine One, the ways in which we care for one another may not be visible, even within the threads that we share. The door held open, the extra can of beans for the food pantry, the vote for city council, the small whisper of a voice saying thank you when you've been handed back change in your hand, for they have remembered not to leave coins on a slippery countertop. Let us pray to remember these little miracles. Let us bow in love and gentleness from the ways in which you check to see if your neighbor is home, even subconsciously, just to remember the last time that they were seen by someone. The flowers that you stopped to smell that were planted by another hand. The generosity of a friend, a partner, a neighbor, or a really kind customer service representative. Lean in to love, especially seeking the shimmery, almost invisible threads of connection. Together we say Amen or Aum. I hope you all have a beautiful, beautiful day whenever you are watching this. Sending buckets and buckets of love.